So when we look at this memory, we get all these crazy characters, and some of these characters are character 10 that go to the next line. For example, after Hello World right here, there's a new line character that goes here. And then this empty spot right here, this is a null terminator. And there's probably another null terminator here. And there's probably all kinds of other characters in here, like tabs and carriage returns, and maybe even some alarms in here, and probably some negative ones that we can't see being printed out in the console. So what I want to do now is write some code that allows us to see all of those otherwise hidden characters. I'm going to need a library to help me draw these characters to the screen. I'm going to include windows.h. This is very platform specific. This will not work with Linux or Unix. A lot of the code that I'm going to be pulling out of windows.h, you could potentially get to work with Linux and Unix, but you'd have to use another library and another header file. Probably ncurses would be a good place. Ncurses would be a good place to look. But for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm just going to use some Windows functionality for that. I'm going to want a couple functions from my memory viewer. The first one that I think I want is void set cursor color, and I'll pass a parameter in there. I'll just do this. That'll probably be more safe in the long run. And this is going to use a Windows function called set console text attribute. And I need to get the standard handle, standard output handle. This is going to give me the command line. And I'm going to pass the color in here. And look at that, that's a big old line of code. Okay, I think that'll work. And now I'll be able to write something like this. Set cursor color, foreground red, and foreground green. That will make a yellow color, and foreground intensity will make it bright yellow. So now whoa, look at that, my text is bright yellow. If I take the foreground green out, it will just be red. This OR right here is the binary OR operator. It's the bitwise OR, and it's merging together these two values. I don't want to go into all the details of that yet. This right here is just changing the color of my text. I want a function that will give me what the current color is, so I'll make a function called get cursor color. And in order to make this work, I need a console screen buffer info, console screen buffer info structure, and if get console screen buffer info, and then I need this madness again, address of console screen buffer info, info, then return csbi.w attributes, and if this failed, then return 0. I could have written an if statement like this up here as well for set console color, but I'm pretty sure this will never fail. So this right here changes the color of the console cursor, and color, it could potentially be foreground, any of the foreground variables from Windows in the Windows header. Here in wincon.h, this is where all of the potential variables are, all of these. So foreground whatever and background whatever as well will fit in here. And this right here will return the current color of the console cursor. So the reason that I want this code is so that I can print out all of those special characters with unique colors so that I can see where they are. I'm going to make a function here called void print char, which I'll call it print unique char, char c, int default color equals get cursor color. int color equals, we want to know what color to change it back to at the end. Set cursor color to default color, but not before we set it to some new color and print the character. But if the character is one of these special difficult to print characters like the null terminator or the alarm, the backspace, tab, new line character, carriage return, or -1, which is also blank just like a space, then we want the color to change. We also want the character to be different. Let's do this. Print out 0 color equals foreground blue. Alarm, backspace, tab, new line, carriage return, dash. Why not? And this right here will print all of the characters in a way that we can identify them.